Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Training Tip Tuesday with me, Coach Coral from Team Babe Athletics. Hope everyone's week is off to a phenomenal start and that you had a great weekend. First off, wanted to, of course, do our race shout outs from this past weekend. We had a pretty big racing weekend for our team. First off, we had Beth who did a 1 kilometer open water swim up in Vancouver. It's also race week for her, coming up to Whistler 70.3, her first half this coming weekend. So Beth had a phenomenal time, a little bit cooler, some good wetsuit practice for the race coming up this week. And so she's full on taper mode. Beth, congratulations. Well done and enjoy your last week of taper. Also wanted to mention, since we're just talking about Whistler 70.3, also shout out to Maisie, who is going to be doing her first 70.3 as well this coming weekend, also in Whistler, Canada. So Beth, Maisie, good luck. Y'all have absolutely executed the training, and so we're super proud of you and wishing you the best of luck this weekend. To round out our race recap from this past weekend, locally here in Clearwater, we had the Fort DeSoto, it was the Top Gun Sprint Tri at Fort DeSoto State Park, one of our favorite race venues here locally. So had a pretty good representation from Team Babe, Patricia, Maddie, and then also Casey took part. I also raced as well. Just a phenomenal turnout by Team Babe. Everybody had a really solid, strong finish. And just finished also with a smile on their face and had a great experience. So fantastic race if you ever wish to check it out. And it's actually also our last prep race locally before we head into the Lycra and Lace Sprint Tri, which is an all-women sprint tri, also at Fort DeSoto State Park here in October. This past weekend, we also kicked off our 12-week local sprint tri training program for Lycra and Lace and had a phenomenal time. Did some open water swimming out at the beach and just had a great time working on some open water swim skills. So it's not too late to join. By the way, if you're in the Tampa Bay area, we would love to have you come out and join us. And even if you're not racing, the Lycra and Lace Sprint Tri, really great way to meet some new people and also to hone some of your open water swim skills, bike handling, brick workouts, etc. So let's get down to business. Today we're going to be talking in continuation with our bike theme for the month of July in conjunction with the tour and the Tour de Babe, which is going on in our team group. We are going to talk a little bit about the differences between tri and road bike and which one may be a better suit for you. So I will say that oftentimes many triathletes will start out on a road bike just due to it's much more stable. It's not quite as finicky in its maneuvering, but also the maneuverability is a lot easier, especially if you are looking at racing perhaps a hilly course with a lot of hairpin turns or an urban setting. St. Anthony's here is a great example. Lots of really tight turns in that downtown area. So a lot of times we'll use road bikes for that course instead of the tri bikes. Road bikes, Cecilia, yes, road bikes represent absolutely. Road bikes are also really phenomenal for group rides. This being, like I said, with the better control, if you're in close proximity to other people, road bike is really, really phenomenal tool to have when riding in such settings because the handling is a lot more safe. It's a lot safer. It's a lot more secure. Your brakes are right there if you need to access them for whatever reason, and your shifting is right there. If you're on a tri bike in a group setting, I always recommend to ride upright in your cow horns. Unfortunately, you don't have ready access to your shifting, but also great to have the brakes right there in hand. So as far as the road bike, like we said earlier, great entry-level bike if you're just getting into the sport, great to learn on, really allows you to hone your maneuvering, but it can also be a great tool as you get more advanced. I oftentimes recommend that athletes, if they're looking to step up to a tri bike, that they also keep the road bike so they can continue doing group rides or have that as a second option if they're doing, like we mentioned earlier, more of a hilly course or something that requires a bit more technical handling. So Kate, Amanda, And Amanda, good morning slash afternoon. Thanks for joining, guys. Cecilia, good to see you. But yeah, if you have any questions about the road bike, let me know. You guys can always pop questions in that chat area. But as far as the tri-bike goes, tri-bike is, you can certainly start out on a tri-bike. However, like I said, starting with a road bike and getting that good solid base under you, it's going to pay off dividends once you switch to a tri-bike. Tri-bikes can be a little bit more finicky in their handling, so having a really strong background in bike handling, I always say, is a very good platform when you make that switch over to riding in a more aerodynamic position. The tri-bike is also typically, depending on your fit, typically a bit more of an aggressive position. You're more forward versus a road bike. You're going to be a little bit more upright, aero, you're down in those aero bars, which can be a little bit of an aggressive position for some of us. So I will say, if you have a history of back pain or anything like that, any sorts of niggles, that fit is a lot more dialed in. So definitely go see someone to ensure a proper bike fit if you're looking at scaling up to a tri-bike, or if you haven't had your bike fit to you in a while, or you've had some changes in mobility. So tri-bike, of course, having that aerodynamic advantage pays off in dividends. You can typically pick up 1 to 2 miles per hour depending on your switch from your road position to your tri position. So definitely looking at some speed advantages there. Additionally, something else that's pretty cool about that shift forward in the tri-bike position is that it actually saves your running muscles. They're a little bit fresher when you come out of T2, so that you can hammer just a little bit harder on that run coming off the bike. So short and sweet one today. However, if you guys have any questions about specifics on road bikes, tri-bikes, and the like, please just let us know. We always do tack back to the comment section for any questions that may crop up later. Also, we'll say real quick, there are some brands that do women's specific frames. I feel like this is worth noting. So brands like Liv is one of the more prominent brands currently that does a very specific women's line. So if you're more of a petite build, or you have some narrower shoulders, things like this that may come into play when you're looking for a road bike or a tri-bike, definitely go and see your local bike shop and talk to them about options. But like I said, especially if you're more of a petite build, some of these women's specific options, they do go down farther in size than typically male oriented or more of a unisex type of frame build. So thanks guys for tuning in. Hope you have a great Tuesday. It's a little bit stormy out here, so the Tuesday open water swim is a little iffy, but we'll definitely be out there, rain or shine, as long as there's no lightning. But definitely stay safe, have fun, have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.